Alright, basically what we're going to do is in the advanced book, we're going to kind of go over several different things and we're going to be bouncing around. If you want to know how to create a table, it's in chapter 5, just like you would do in Microsoft Word or something like that. Read chapter 5, we don't have enough time to get to that one. So what I want to do is really hit on two things that I used to use a lot in the industry. Actually, three. One of them is going to be attributes. Okay. The other one is going to be Xref, which is external references. And the other one is going to be the Design Center. So we're going to be bouncing around between chapters 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay? So I'm just going to tell you that. Write it down, go home, read it, do whatever, because I'm just going to bounce around 8, 9, 10, and 11. Okay, one thing I want to go ahead and show you, or to talk to you about. Everybody's computers up? Alright, the other day we did blocks. Okay? When we did the blocks, we created these and they were stored where? Where were the blocks stored at that we created? Inside that one drawing. Inside that drawing that you created the block in. Well, I'm going to show you something, and this should look a little familiar to you if you were here for the lecture. We had that symbol the other day, right? We created a block of it, it was stored inside your drawing. What if I wanted to store this block as a separate file? I've drawn it inside my drawing, I want to create it as a separate file, I want it out there in a folder somewhere because later on we may need it again. Well, instead of doing block, you would do W block. Okay, instead of block, it's W block. If you just press W on the keyboard and hit space, that will create a W block. Now, honestly, I don't know if I can even go find it anywhere. Right here. There's a right block. It's on the Insert tab, Block Definition. You'll see Create Block up there. If you hit the little arrow beside Create Block, you see a right block right there. All right, now what this is going to do. So I'm going to hit W spacebar. Pick your base point, just like we did before. Select your objects like we did before. You can convert to a block, delete from drawing, however you want to do it. I'm going to hit delete from drawing just so I can show you how to bring it back in. Alright, it tells you file name and path. You come in here, click right here on these block with the 3 dots. I'm going to put it on the desktop for now. I want it on the desktop and I want to call it Circle B. Okay? So I found the place where I want to put it. I named it. Now I'm going to hit save. You see, there's your path right there. Once I'm done, I hit OK. Notice it's gone. Now, you know before, how did we do the insert? I spacebar, or go to the Insert tab, Insert Block. Now, I named it Circle B. Last time, all we had to do was click the arrow down, and it was right there. But notice it is not there. Okay? I would actually have to browse, go to the desktop. There's Circle B right there. Click on it. You still go through the same process. I want to specify on screen where I want to put it. I want it 1-to-1. Everything else is good. I hit OK. And notice it is a block.
The only difference is you saved it like you would have drawn.
Exactly right.
But you could have multiple ones in that.
Yeah, it's gonna have to go back.
Yes. And that's what we do a lot of times out in the field. We'll right block them out. We'll W block them out of the drawing. Save them in all these standard folders and all this other stuff for the company. And then as anybody in the company needs it, they can go out on the server, go to the standards folder, pull it off, and insert it into their drawing. This is why we use W block most of the time instead of just block. Okay? For the simple fact, when you're working in a company, generally more than one person is going to be viewing this drawing or needing to work on it, so most likely you want your standards all out on the server where anybody can go get it. So that's how we did things. We would W block everything out to make it a simple file. Now, what if I needed to update it? It's pretty easy the other way. All we have to do is go into the block editor, right? Well, in this case, you would actually have to go to the file. Once you're done, you get out of it and save it. Get it updated here. No. Matter of fact, let's save it down. Alright. You see I did block edit. Since I already have a block in there, I went ahead and just hit VE. I want to block edit. Circle V. Now that's inside the drawing, you can actually go in and do the block edit like you did before. Did I save it up? I was trying to show you. Okay, notice even in here, it did not accept the update, right? To the block editor. If you make changes, like I showed you before, if you made changes to your original file, what I'm trying to show you is it does not update what you changed inside your drawer. Okay? When you update a W block, it does not update all the blocks in your drawing. So if you went in, let's just for example say, you're inside your drawing, you've already inserted a bunch of blocks, you just notice, oh, something's not right with it. Not only would you have to come in here Not only would you have to go inside the drawing you're currently working on and make the change, but you would also have to go to the actual file itself and make the change. So you see, to edit the block is a little different. You still do the same thing to edit inside your drawing, But if you needed to say, okay, hey, the one that's out in standards has to be edited the same way, you would have to go out to the folder, find it, and edit it in there too. Okay, like if you found a mistake in the block or something like that. So by changing it in the file, the individual file does not change it inside your drawer. That's kind of what I want you to see. So the W block is a little bit different as far as when you insert it in, it's coming from its own file. But to edit it, you can edit it inside your own drawer. So I wanted to show you that, how W blocks are used. The next thing I want to show you is external references, or what they also call Xref. What an Xreference is kind of similar to a block. Okay? It's kind of similar almost to a W block, except when you insert an Xreference, what you're doing is you're basically bringing in a file or an object into your drawing that is externally referenced, which means by a path. It is linked by a path to a certain object. And what I'm talking about, watch this. I'm going to bring in the Xref, which is XR on the keyboard, or if you go to the Insert tab, you see References over here, Attach. Let's see if I can even find anything. Let's see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and attach the title block. So I'm going to go ahead and hit open. All right, you see it does the same thing as the block. Specify on the screen. I want it to be 1-to-1. I want to insert to 0, 0. Everything else is pretty good. So I'm going to hit OK. There's my title block. Notice that the title block is what? It's all one object, correct? Now watch this. If I double click it, it comes over this Xref reference edit. I hit Xref title block, okay. Whatever. Here's the easiest way to do it. Hit XR on the keyboard. This is the way I know how to do it. It's the easiest way to be. You hit XR on the keyboard, and you can see right there it shows you have an Xref inside your drawing, right? You got an external reference inside. If for some reason, I'll show you for example, if for some reason this title block gets moved from the location it's at to a new location, and I'm going to do that. Let's put it over, let's put it here for now. When I come back out, I'm going to go ahead and save this drawing. Because when I go back into it, watch what happens to what does it say? One or more reference files cannot be located or read. What do you want to do? Do you want to update the location of the reference file, or do you want to ignore it? I want to update the location. Notice inside that Xref box I told you to hit XR a while ago, it's got an exclamation point. The reason being, once you move that file what happens now is it's trying to read the original path that you gave it to get there. And it's reading it and it's not finding it. Okay? So basically what you would have to do is come in here, right click on it, and come down here and hit the path, remove the path, and then what you would do is come down here at the bottom, save path, click on the little dot next to the periods, go in there and give it its new path. And look what happens. It seems complicated, but once you do it a few times, it's not. But the reason I want to show you Xref is for this reason right here. You saw how a minute ago when I inserted this W block, and I made the change in the original file, I did not make a change in here, right? Well, let's say that this says figure 8.45 there. Let's say that the client calls, says, hey, we're changing the project number from 8.45 or whatever that was. We're going to change it to 903. Well, as you can see, you can't do anything here. You can't do anything to change it. But what you can do is go to where your object is located, change it from 8.45 to 9.00, save it, get out of it. Now that you're back in your new drawing, what does it show? It's like a caution sign, right? If you click on it, right click on it and hit reload, look what happens over here. It changes whatever you changed in the original file. That's why I hit XR on the keyboard so I can get this menu up, because you can see all the stuff you can do with this menu. So, I will tell you this, and why we use it in the field. When I was doing the Coast Coliseum, Mississippi Coast Coliseum after Hurricane Katrina, I think I told y'all we had like 100 pages on this. Now, our office alone had over 40. Okay? Well, believe it or not, we were right near printing this thing out. Okay? And the owner called and said, hey, we're changing the name to this project before y'all print out your 100% completion set. So when they changed the name, if I wouldn't have had each one of those title blocks X-referenced in, I'd actually had to go to each page, all 40 pages, and correct that. But instead, I went to the original file, corrected it one time, and then what it did was corrected on all 40 of my title blocks on all 40 pages. So that's why we use title blocks a lot as X-references. So that if changes like that are made, you can go in and make those changes one time and one time only. It saves you a ton of time. Okay? Not only that, but dates change a lot. Believe it or not. You know, a project date may be set on the project for next week, and the owner might call you and say, hey, no, we need it Monday or Friday, so change it to Friday's date. Well, you can change that into the Xref in the original file. But once you think about that, okay, we're using a title block as an X reference. But then is there not some information that cannot be the same on every drawing? Page number? Person who drew it? Sheet title? Revisions? All this kind of stuff is things that could possibly change on each and every individual sheet. So, if that's the case, then we need to get that information off of it, right? Off of the original. But you still got to have the placement of that information so it can be put on the title block very easily. I think I told you all about attributes. I think I just mentioned it in one of the lectures about how if you create attributes inside of a block, that you can actually extract all those attributes into a table. I just mentioned it a little bit. This is where attributes would come into play. All right. I'm going to go to my original title block. I'm actually going to move this back to where it was, so I don't lose it. All right, I'm going to open this up. I'm actually going to put, somebody help me out, I don't remember what we all put on the block. This is the title, sheet title. Yeah.
It's your name and then underneath it is the drawing title.
So this is the drawing title, right?
No, it's the student name.
No, student names under this.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Let's see. Careful, drawing title. And this one over here is date or scale?
Scale.
Alright. So this is the type of information we have in it. Okay? Now let's look at this information. What information do you think could change on each sheet? And what information, let's call this check mark. We'll call this a project on that. Alright. So we're looking at that information, what could change on every individual sheet? Could this change the company name?
No, they change.
What about the scale?
Good.
Alright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and save this down as Xref title block. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is do a save as. I already have it out there. I'll do a save as, and generally what we do is we call it like Xref title block info. Okay? So we create another drawing called blah 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 info. Let's say we're on the Xref title block info now where I just saved it. All I would do is, and the reason is, the things that I want to change, or that will change on every sheet, I need to create an attribute for that. Okay, so the things that will change is going to be, I would say student name can change on every sheet, drawing title can change on every sheet, scale can change on every sheet, check by can, and that'd be about it, right? The rest of that should be sheet-wise, should be the same. Why did I move all that? Let me show you. All right, I'm going to create an attribute. And to do that, you can do ATT, which is attribute. Or you go to Insert tab, define block definition panel, define attributes. You see, I type more than anything, so I would go to ATT. Okay, well, all right. Now, as you can see, it opens up an attribute definition box. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to step through and tell you what all this is, what do you put where, and what. A tag right here, all it is a space saver. Okay? The tag portion of this attribute is a space saver. So really, the only thing it's there for is to show that there's something belongs in it. Okay? So I'm just going to put in a couple of X's just to show that, hey, something belongs here. Okay? Prompt. What prompt is for is you'll type in a question that will help tell you what should go there. For instance, I'm fixing to create this one right here. So I'm going to put, what is the sheet title? Okay. So what is the sheet title? Default, what this is basically how do you want the information plugged in. For instance, if this was like, what is the cost of something? Then you could actually put in here, like if you were wanting to know a cost of something, $0.0000. Or really it'd be $0.00. So this tells whoever comes in to insert an attribute that you fixing to create, that shows them exactly that when you input this information, it better have a $, it better have a 0.00. So if it's 50 cents, it's going to say $0.50. So you're kind of telling future people who insert this exactly what you want it to be done like. Our case, you can just put a couple X's because it's just words. We just need words. All right? Now, justification. How do we want to justify that? Middle center. Text style. We'll leave it on standard. Text height. 2.125. Don't hit enter. I forgot to tell you that. Alright, what is the sheet title? XX. Center, standard, 0.125, rotation 0. Okay. So I fill all that there. Specify on screen. Notice over here, got an insertion point to where you specify on screen. Over here, all these mean different things. Okay? Invisible. If this box is checked, the attribute will be invisible. You can make it visible later by typing the ATT-DISP command and selecting on. I don't know why you would want it invisible unless you were putting attributes inside of a block, like say you drew a couch. A company you work for is some type of furniture manufacturer. And the couch you drew, they wanted you to put attributes in it like, what is the manufacturer's name, the cost, the type, what type of fabric, color. Let's say you had to do all that. Every time you insert it on the drawing, you really wouldn't want all that to show up, would you? So that would be a time when you would want that kind of information invisible. For this purpose, we wouldn't want this invisible. The constant. The attribute stays constant. It never changes, and you will not be prompted for the value when the block is inserted. So basically, if let's say the cost of this was always going to be $100, right? Right here for default, you can put $100 and then put constant because it's always going to be $100. But in this case, it's going to change. The sheet title changes, so we can't use that. If you check verify, after you are prompted and type the input, you will be prompted to verify that input. This is a way to double check your input before it's entered on the screen. So basically what happens is, once you go to insert this and it asks you, hey, what is the sheet title? You type it in, it's going to say, whatever you typed in, is this okay? And then you hit OK again. Now, I don't usually do that. Preset, same thing. It's just like constant. If you type in, it's already preset to be a certain thing. Lock position. Basically what this does, and I always keep it on, I do not want my attributes to change locations. I want them to always come in at the exact same location. So I always keep this one checked. And then multiple lines specifies that the attribute value can contain multiple lines of text. When this option is selected, you can specify a boundary width for the attribute. What that means? On industry drawings, okay, or the company I work for, we actually can have almost 4 lines of text for our sheet title. Okay, because sometimes you do have some long sheet titles. So in that case, but we always put it in this one like a little bitty rectangle. Okay? So if I wanted it to be specified in a certain location, and it's got multiple lines, I can check right here. And what it'll allow me to do is go out and put exactly where I want the boundary for that location. And then in the future, when I go and insert one in, it would automatically adjust that boundary, and you can type in, and it'll just automatically adjust itself all the way down. Almost like Word. When you type something in, you get to the boundary, it goes underneath. That's kind of how that would work. All right, but for now, I'm just going to hit lock position, okay. I forgot to do the middle center. I'm just going to click it right there for now. I'll come in, put me a line, move this from the insertion point, which is the middle center, down to the middle. And there is one attribute. Okay? I'm going to do another one. Let's see, let me get my lines in place here. Now, drawing title, let's do another one. ATT, XXX, who drew this sheet? XXX, which means I want 3 initials. Okay? XXX, I want 3 initials. Well, actually, we could say, type complete name for who drew this sheet. Center, everything else is good, okay. Put it there. Do the same thing. What is the scale of this drawing? Alright, if it's going to actually have a scale, you want that scale to be, say it's architectural units, you can put X inches, you go like this, scale X inches equals X feet dash 0 inches. So you basically show them exactly how you want it typed in. Hit OK, put it right here. Ah. I forgot to change the justification. The bad thing is, once you create it, you can't go back and change it. Oh, wait, I guess you can. Hold on. Alright, there you go. Okay, so there's that. And the last one I'm going to do is check by what is the checker's initials? XXX. Center. Okay. Alright, got all my attributes in there. Everything's in place, exactly where I want it to be. Great. Now what I need to do is, notice my title block was at 0, 0, right? All my attributes are there. Now what I'm going to do is come in here. Leave everything exactly where it was. Okay? I left everything right there. Because, let's go ahead and save this down. We're going to save as, save it as that 2. Now we'll go ahead and close it out. What I want to do real quick is make sure, go to my title block. I want to take out the info I do not need. Now I'm going to save that. Alright. I want to reload this. And there it is. Okay, there's my title block. Now all I'm going to do is insert that attribute I just created. Insert, browse, title block info 2, open. I want my insertion point at 0, 0. I want my scale to be 1 to 1. I'm done. I hit OK. Notice what happens. What automatically pops up?
All your attributes.
All my attributes I just did. What is the sheet title? Let's say this is a floor plan. Type complete name for who drew this sheet. What is the scale of the drawing? You see how you kind of helped them already because you already had this set up? So I can say 1/4 equals 1 foot. Who's it checked by? Let's say it's checked by me. Once I'm done, I hit OK. Now look, it's all right there. It's all in the title block correctly. Now, if you need to edit one of them, double click the attribute, everything pops up again. Let's say check by is going to change. I want to change it to Miss McGee. There it is. Change. But now this is inside your drawing. So, especially since now you're seeing how to create different layout tabs for paper space and all that, you would create this on one tab, on the first tab. You would go ahead and extract the drawing or your title block into the first tab. You would go ahead and insert your attributes into the first tab. So then you can duplicate the first tab for your more tabs as needed, and your title block will be on every tab with the attributes. Okay? So that's just kind of where I personally used attributes the most. Believe it or not, once you set this up one time, it's pretty easy to keep it going from there on out. Okay? Because like we said before, what we've done, we've created a title block file, put it in the standard folder, and then we've created an attributes from that and put it into the standard folder. So every time you start a new drawing, you just insert that title block and insert the attributes and you're done. Alright? Alright, now let's say we're drawing. I've got some blocks and stuff. I created another drawing or some line style, some dimension styles. I created another drawing and all that. Let's say I've got all that created. And I really don't feel like recreating all of it. And y'all going to be mad when you'll see it. There's a way inside AutoCAD called Design Center that you can actually go to drawings that you've previously completed and actually drag the line type in your new drawing without having to create it. You can drag layers in. You can drag dimension styles in, multi-layer styles, blocks. Any of it can be dragged from one drawing to another. And let me show you how that's done. DC spacebar is the keyboard way. DC. Well, let me ask you real quick. How do I get this one up? This tab right, this X reference box. XR. Remember that. Just to do an X reference, this is the easiest way to get this to do with your title. You need to do DC spacebar for Design Center. We're going to insert tab all the way to content, and you see Design Center is right there. I'm going to do DC. This is what pops up. Now, what you got to be careful is that you actually find the right thing. So you'll be under C drive, Program Files, Autodesk, the current version of Autodesk that you're in, or AutoCAD that you're in. Then you'll go down and find Sample. Make sure I find the right one too. All right, there it is right there. Now this is just to get, let me rephrase this. What I'm showing you right here, and you might want to write this down because some of these AutoCADs do not go up properly. What I'm fixing to show you right now inside the Design Center is where they actually have current samples that they put in there for you. Like bathtubs, sinks, doors, that kind of stuff. So follow this path once you get in there. It's C drive, program files, Autodesk, the version of AutoCAD that you're in, sample. Then you got to click on this one. It's weird. It's EN-US, and then there will be a folder right underneath that called Design Center. If you click on it, and you can see, look, they got some called electrical power, fasteners, home. The ones we use the most are home, space planner, house designer, kitchens. Watch, I'm going to click on kitchens. Then over here to the right, you see kitchens as blocks, theme styles, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to double click on blocks. Look what they have in there. Range ovens, cabinets, faucets, ice and water maker, switches, kitchen layout, dishwasher, all kinds of that stuff. So let's say I want a microwave. I grab the microwave, drag it over here to your drawing, and let go. And look, you have a microwave. Okay? So kitchens, landscaping, house designer, and home space planner are the four that we use the most when we're doing architectural drawings. Okay? But let's say I've already had a drawing up completed. So I'm going to go over here to this left-hand side. I'm going to go to desktop. Let's see if I can find one. Let's go to Bruce Special Bearing. Double click it. See if he's got any blocks in there. No, he don't have any blocks. So let's go back one. See if he's got any dim styles. No, not any dim styles. Layer. Oh, look, he's got some layers in here. Let's say I want to take the border, the center, depth point, dimension, hidden object, and with text layer. All I did was click on one and either hold control down on the keyboard and kept clicking while I was holding control down, or you can click on the first one, hold shift down, and click on the last one. Now watch this. Now that I've got them all clicked, I'm just going to click on one of them, drag them over into my drawing, let go. Now watch this. Before we had nothing in here, watch. I got all the layers. Okay? So there's all the layers I created before. So this is another thing we do. We'll set up a template drawing that has all the layers, dimension styles that we want and all that. So when we start a new drawing, we either open that drawing and automatically has everything in there, or we'll just start a new drawing and drag it from the Design Center into there. So you can see how the Design Center works. And I'm sure y'all probably saying, well, dang it, I could have used that a long time ago. With the dim stuff. And like I said, this one would have worked the same. If this one would have had a dimension style, I could drag it, bring it over in there, and it'll automatically put it in there for you. How y'all feel about that? Those chapters I told you to read, I would read them. Because there's more to this that you would probably want to know, like there is an actual, inside this Design Center, there's also an Autodesk Seek part of the design center where it goes online, where you can look for more blocks and stuff to use that's already been created. So you might want to read those chapters I told you. That way you can probably get some of that. All right. So how does everybody feel about that? Okay, you might want to look through there, that advanced book you'll use again in advanced CAD because it has 3D in it. You might want to read through some of that information that's in there, like the tables and all that kind of stuff. Like attributes, when I told you you can put dollars into it and all that kind of stuff, you can actually extract all that information into tables. It tells you how to do all that. We kind of ran out of time. Now, I already have online your final exam. Oh no, this is going to be a drawing. Well, I don't know why I said final exam. Final exam project. Yes. Alright, what's going to wind up happening? You're going to have 4 or 5 layout tabs in one drawing. Okay? Each layout tab is going to have something different showing. You're going to draw everything that you see inside model space. Okay? Just like we've been doing. Your first layout tab will consist of a site plan. Here's what it looks like. You are to include everything you see right here. The only difference is where you see 100 feet, you need anything that has foot and inches to be 100 foot dash 0 inches. Or 20 foot dash 0 inches. You may want to make a note of that. If it's inches, strictly inches with no feet, it just needs to say inches. So it just needs 6 inches, 3 inches. But if it's foot, it needs to be foot dash 0 inches. That is strictly one little setup under primary units inside dimension style. Okay? You will have to include a north arrow. I will give you this hint. There is a north arrow inside the design center. Only in directions you do not follow on this is number 1 and number 2. And when you save the drawing, save it as a, just save it under intermediate folder or under intermediate final exam or whatever. Okay? This is your final project. So really do not follow 1 or 2 or 7 or 8. We'll do those a little different. Alright, here's the second thing you got to draw. You see it's got sinks, bathtubs, toilets. Some of these are in the design center. That's where you'll find them at. You'll draw this. Then you're going to have to come down here and draw this window schedule and door schedule. This all has to go on the same sheet of paper. This will go on one sheet of paper, one layout. This will appear, the site plan will be on another layout in a second, another sheet of paper.
Which one's gonna be its own title block?
Yep, wrong title block. The instructions on the second one do not follow 1 or 2 or 7 or 8. Here's the third one. You take your same title block or your same floor plan you drew, you copy it over, erase everything you don't need, and then add what you do, what you see here. You will create these symbols. All these symbols that you see will be created. And you will do these legends like this. This will go on a set of one title block together. These three things.
Wait, wait. What house is the great and
I will tell you this. Didn't y'all create some of those, some of those symbols in another song? Some of those you'll use basically the same on here and just edit. Create different ones compared to what you see here. I'll tell you, this right here, some people can't see it and can't tell what it says. That says GFI. That says GFI, that says 220 volt. That says GFI, GFI. So if you can't tell what they say, come to me and I'll do well. Once you print it out, I have it in my I don't think it's I think it was missing some information, is why I wound up going from another book and copying it in. Yes, it is missing a lot of information. But yes, if you go to the back of your book, on Part 28, there's a floor plan. Part 30 shows you the same thing right here. You can see it's in the back of your advanced book. But I think some of it was missing a little bit of information. So I scanned this in so that you can have everything. Kind of compare it back and forth in case you can't read something on here. Same thing, do not follow instructions number 1, 7, and 8 on this sheet. Then you're going to come to this one. You're going to draw this elevation. I will go ahead and tell you this. Some of this, you basically just have to eyeball it. And what I mean by that, this right here tells you what? That it's 4 by 10. Well, this right here just looks a little bit larger than that, correct? Or no, it tells you right here, 2 by 8. So that's 8 inches. That's 4 foot by 10, or 4 inches by 10 inches. If you compare that 4 inches there to that right there, it looks about the same, so you know that's about 4 inches too. They want you to kind of, you know, not saying use common sense, but use a little. Well, they want you to be able to look at things and tell that things are almost the same. Yes, use sight of recognition. That's kind of what they're doing.
Don't tell us how long that.
Well, now, here's the key to this. The house is as long as the floor plan. See, that's some of the things they're kind of trying to test a little bit.
Your floor plan is 100 foot, your house is 100
There you
foot.
go.
If it's 90 foot deep, then it's doing that.
So same thing, do not follow direction number 1, follow the last half of direction number 2, and do not do 4 and 5. So basically just 3/8 of an inch, draw and dimension and label. And your last one will be this one right here.
We haven't done that.
Similar, but it's not exactly the same.
We gotta draw that?
You gotta draw that. All the information's there needed to draw it. Let's see, I think the only thing. Roof angle was 23 degrees. I should have let that go and see if y'all could figure it out. But that right there, 23 degrees is going to determine
Yeah, it's gonna be the hall.
that right there. So it's trying to get you, it's showing you all this information to see if you can find the information needed to plug it in where it goes. Huh? Oh, no. Alright, this is the only thing, of course don't follow 1 and 2 when they keep telling you to do all these select sizes and my feet inches set up and all that. The rest of the stuff you will, but here's what I want to show you. It's this one, at the command type LTS enter 0.35, no, that is not true. That is 0.5 like we've been doing. But I will tell you this. This insulation right here is an actual line. It is a line. Okay? It tells you up here in the directions. Let's see. It says right here, this will scale the batting line type to be a little bit smaller. So when you create the line type for this layer, you'll actually go into it, and I think it says batting, I think it actually shows you a symbol of it. When you click on it, this is how, instead of coming here and changing your whole entire LTS to 0.35, this is what you're going to do instead. Go ahead and create it and I'll show you. Line type, load. See batting right here? Hit OK.
See, I never got that. When it said create, I was like, what are you talking about?
Show you what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Alright, see that's what it comes up to look like. Now, to make it the size you need, instead of doing LTS 0.35, that governs your entire drawing. You don't want to change your entire drawing. All you want to change is this one line type. This is the only line type you'll do this with. To change it, go to CH spacebar for your properties. You come right here to line type scale, and you'll put in whatever it needs to be, 0.5, 0.25, whatever, 0.35, whatever they say it needs to be. And you can adjust it, you can keep adjusting. This is the only line type where you'll go in and do that, under the properties manager.
So when it says layer with the batting, to make that I didn't realize you could go grab a level.
Yeah. Well, when it says layer, it says name it. I think it says name of batting or insulation.
Yeah.
But then you got to do that line type. So that's why I want to go ahead and show y'all, because most people can't find that and don't realize it. So you should end up with I think that was five separate sheets of paper. The only thing is now, every bit of this has to be drawn inside one file.
That's a small computer.
Draw all this in model, and then you got 5 different tabs for paper space. Now, this is going to be drawn on an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. So I'm throwing a monkey wrench into you. Everything you've learned. Here it is right here, title block, 11 by 17. Now I want you to notice on here. Here's your sheet number. Here's page of something. You need to add, copy this right here, or copy something over here, put 5 sheets, because you're going to have 5 sheets. This is going to change for every sheet. This one right here. Project title, intermediate, CAD, final. So you will name that intermediate CAD final for the project title. For your sheet title, here's your information. This is where your sheet title will go. Project number will be final. Issue date will be today's date, 15. Completed date, I want it for April 29th. Drawn by will of course be your name. Check by will be my name. What this is going to test you on is that Xref and that attribute that I showed you a while ago.
I'm a little confused here. So, we got to make an 11 by 17 kind of block?
No, I already got it created for you. You just need to get it offline, save it down to your thumb drive, and you've got to create the information and attributes. The information needs to be attributes that can change from page to page, like sheet title, page number, that kind of stuff. You're going to create as attributes, so you're going to have 11 by 17 title block as one file, and you have 11 by 17 info as another file. So, everything I showed you today is going to be used. You don't think I sat up here and talked about it for nothing, huh? All right. So that's the title block that you're going to use. You're not using the old title block we used to.
Where is that? We can go save that on our flash drive.
On D2L.
Save it on the flash drive.
Save it down off of D2L on your flash. Does everybody understand what's going on?
Not really, but we can try.
This can be turned in any time between now and the 29th. This is it. That's all the lectures we're going to do.
Oh, no more later?
No more lectures. Today was it.
Alright, well, you can follow good.
You have 2 weeks. No, fundamental we'll have one next week. Intermediate we won't have any more. Today was it.
Alright.
That's how we got behind, because I actually, when I planned out the class, I planned that next week was lecture, but I forgot about the 2 weeks that I give for the project. So we got behind.
No, so we still got fundamental lecture Monday.
Yes. Fundamental will still have lecture Monday. This class will have no lecture, will strictly be lab. I will tell you this, April 29th, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, when I leave this campus, I no longer accept final projects for any class. Okay? So if you're not finished, you got to turn in what you have and take the grade you get, because this is 25% of your grade. If you don't turn it in, you fail. Plain and simple. Because you actually have to have I think the 98 is the lowest average you could have in this class and still pass without, but you would pass with like a D or right at a D.
Take the sides.
With a D. And I don't think anybody here has a 98 average. Okay. So,
I'm just gonna take this and call it good and do it over again next time.
all right, so any questions?
So, very good, we go same there, shoot down, we go back to, like, go back.
Oh.
Someone will do it.
Go by the book on a lot of the layer names, but then try to use like my line types as far as like guide to how you need to do it. Because like I think in there it shows you the walls are a little bit thicker than a lot of the symbols and stuff like that. So use the walls as 0.5, symbols as 0.3, you know, kind of things like that. Because I'm testing you on your presentation skills on this. It's basically what it is presentation and setting everything up and all that kind of stuff. Alright? Alright, no other questions? I'll free your computer and you can go.
Okay.